Recently, Iranian Americans for Liberty discovered that political activists both inside and outside of Iran have had their Twitter accounts suspended or deleted. These accounts were utilized by users to express their opposition to the Islamic Republic regime and the recent wave of violent suppression of dissent. Big Tech has a history of silencing one side of the spectrum in political and cultural issues globally, as documented in IAL's December 24th and 30th, 2021 public statements. This wave of censorship is neither organic nor haphazard. There is a target which points directly at Iranian advocates of constitutional rights and human rights disproportionately. Social media has played a crucial role in allowing those with no voice in certain parts of the world the ability to express their free speech and expose corrupt regimes. Twitter needs to immediately reinstate these accounts and has the social responsibility to promote free speech, especially to those who do not have that right within their own homeland. Despite ILA's repeated protests, Big Tech allows the Islamic Republic regime officials, including its leader Ali Khamenei, on their platforms. Twitter has the obligation to allow those persecuted by that same regime the rights to express themselves, said IAL President Daniel Jafari on an article on their website. In the past few days, Twitter accounts belonging to Iranian dissidents and political activists have been suspended in large numbers. The Iranian Americans for Liberty data science team has conducted a thorough investigation, both quantitatively and qualitatively, into these suspended accounts on Twitter. The investigation involved gathering extensive data on the political views of the affected individuals over the past few days. According to our findings, the primary targets of these suspensions were individuals who identified as Iranian patriots and monarchists. Through the monitoring of thousands of Iranian political Twitter users, we have discovered that hundreds of accounts belonging to these users were suspended in the past few days. In order to enhance the credibility of our study, this report specifically suspended users who had more than 1,000 followers before suspension. Which users are being targeted by these suspensions? The group that has been targeted by the most by these suspensions by a significant margin when compared to other groups are the monarchists. At the time of this report, 81 prominent popular users who identified as monarchists were targeted, while only 11 supporters of Mujahideen, MEK, and 7 users who were identified as other opponents of the regime were affected. In order to assess the significance of the suspended users, we also analyzed the number of followers that they had. Our research indicates that the suspension of these accounts has caused significant harm to the monarchists, particularly those with a substantial following, resulting in the removal of over 560,000 followers from their social media accounts. Therefore, the impact of removing the accounts of MEK supporters and other opponents is insignificant in comparison to the significance of removing the accounts of the monarchists. It is also important to check the number of tweets that were deleted as a result of these suspensions. As a result of these suspensions, more than 2.3 million tweets posted by royalists were deleted. In comparison, about only 450,000 tweets and 220,000 tweets posted by MEK supporters and other opponents of the regime were deleted, respectively. Amir Hossein Basati, a 16-year-old teenager, was fatally shot during last year's nationwide protests in Kermanshah, Iran, by the direct gunfire of the Islamic Republic's security forces. Parisa Bahmani, a 52-year-old physician, was injured by direct gunfire from the Islamic Republic's security forces during the national uprising in Tehran, Iran in November of last year. She passed away 2 days later due to the severity of her injuries. The assault carried out by law enforcement agents of the Islamic Republic on an Iranian woman in the city of Lahijan due to her decision to remove her headscarf. Furthermore, several women in the city of Qom, situated in Iran, were subjected to an attack by supporters of mandatory hijab, which is a policy that requires women to cover their heads and bodies in public. As per sources from human rights organizations, in Iran over the past year, 184 Kurdish cross-border laborers were subjected to fatal or injurious violence at the hands of the Islamic Republic security forces through direct shooting and physical assault. In the city of Grohe in Iran, there have been instances of graffiti being used to express opposition to Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic. At nightfall in the Punak neighborhood of Tehran, slogans were spotted on the rooftops of the several houses bearing the phrases "Death to the dictator" and "Death to the Islamic Republic."
مرگ بر جمهوری اسلامی!